They are the highest scoring offense in the state. Hanover Central has been a house of fire all season long, averaging 53 points per game, including scoring 69 points against Whiting last week. Now quarterback Matt Coons and running back Kyle Hastley set their sights on a big game tomorrow against Wheeler. Matt Coons steps in as a quarterback, and the young man has really had himself a pretty good season.
No question. I've been telling everybody that, Matt originally was a really good athlete that played quarterback, but hiring of Coach Bartolomeo over from Lake Central, who's our new quarterbacks coach, he's really taken Matt and our other quarterbacks as well and done a really good job with them. And you start to see the maturation process with Matt and his evolvement into becoming from an athlete to a quarterback to, a quarterback that happens to be an athlete now.
Let's talk about the kid Hastley, who had 5 touchdowns against Whiting last weekend. Not bad.
Cal's been a starter for us ever since he showed up here as a freshman. The last 2 years has been primarily a defense at safety for us, but we knew that Kyle had some talent at the running back position. He's probably our most explosive kid in our program. He's a 4.4 40. He lifts the weight room. And he runs really quick. So runs really hard as well. So that power running game, I think, is an aspect that the last year and a half that we've really added to our offense.
Wheeler coming up on Friday.
Right.
Why do I get the feeling it's going to be a 4-quarter game?
Well, because they're a good football team. They're doing some things differently than they had done in the past with Coach Kanye now taking the helms over. And they have a lot of experience returning back off of their football team. A lot of kids who were on that team last year off of a good football team as well. And, there's a lot of familiarity between us and them and in regards to the personnel. Our kids and their kids have been competing against each other since middle school. So there's, we always get up for Wheeler Week, and with them, being 5-1 and us being 6-1, it really kind of just adds to it a little bit more.
Good luck on Friday.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Wheeler's offense is no slouch this season either. They have the firepower to hang in there with the Wildcats, led by quarterback Preston Morris and running back Caden Brand. Don't forget, they scored 72 on Bishop Knoll last week. The question is, which team's defense can make enough plays to help pick up victory? Coach, if Friday's game were pro football, would it be safe to bet the over? The way your teams are putting the points on the board?
I hope so. Honestly, you don't know. They are leading the state in scoring, so they're just an offensive juggernaut, and we just hope we can sort of contain them. And my goal, I tell the superintendent all the time, because every week he comes in and wants to know the final score, and I'm like, I hope to win by 1. And he's like, I don't want that. I said, I want to win by 1. That's all I care about. So if they put up 50, we got to put up 51. So I'm hoping that we go with the over in that aspect, but I'm hoping, and honestly, like if we take our score, it can lower their score a little bit. I'll be all right with that too. So, it's you never know with games like this, with teams that, we don't have a whole lot of common opponents yet. They haven't played Calumet yet, and we haven't played Griffith yet, and we only got a couple games we played similar. So it's just hard to tell. It's hard to tell what that's going to be. So we'll see how our boys respond to that. But yeah, their offense is impressive, and their defense, has been shutting people out too. So I hope it's going to be high scoring in our favor, but you just never know.
Speaking of high scoring, you guys 3 of the last 4 games have put some big numbers up. And let's start off with this Morris kid, because he's having himself a pretty good year so far.
He really is. Preston has. It was funny because the day that I put my name into the job application, I ran into him at the gas station. And I hadn't seen him in a while because of COVID. He wasn't in school. Mm-hmm. And I talked to him. I said, if I get this, you're going to be my leader, and we're going to go. And he was like, I'm in, let's go. And as soon as I was announced, he and I have been meeting, and he trying to learn the offense, and he's been phenomenal for me. He's doing some really good jobs. Early on, he was pressing the issue a little bit, trying to do a little too much and just not letting the game come to him against Calumet in the first half. He just kept trying to go Virginia against Calumet secondary when they're just, that speed, that talent. And then once he started to go to his checkdowns, he started to do really well. And he sort of bought into that whole system too. You don't have to go for the home run every single time. You can just check it down and make your reads and do stuff. And I can't ask for more than a kid than what he's given me so far.
What would put an even bigger smile on your face, I would imagine, is beating Hanover Central on Friday. How important is that for the program this year?
I mean, last year, they shared the conference with Hanover and Griffith and all this other kind of stuff, and it would just, and this is Hanover's last year in the conference. They're moving on up and going to a different conference, and I'd love to give them my goodbye present, but it's just one of those things. But we really do try to take one game at a time, and we really do try to go 1-0 every week, and just focus on that, and then let all the pieces fall together for conference later on. So,
wish you the best on Friday.
Thank you very much.
If you love offense, you're going to love this matchup. Hanover Central and Wheeler have both put points on the board big time. As a matter of fact, the Wildcats lead the state in scoring. So if you like video game football, it's coming your way on Friday on our Lakeshore Game of the Week. As for you, Joe and Wayne, you know the assignment. Who you got?